So we do have to segue into our second half, which is, I don't even know how long we've been recording, but anyway, short story long, we are now going to be talking about our top 5 horror movies. Again, these are personal picks, mostly rooted in nostalgia on my end. Now, I am a movie buff. Brandon is much more of a movie buff. I've noticed this as time has gone on. I am more of the techie video game aspect. As much as I do love movies and do have a much more baseline knowledge, Brandon has much more of a baseline knowledge, even than myself. So this is going to be his segue and take off into our movies. Brandon, start with your honorable mention.
Okay. Sounds good. I must say that for the longest time, Lucas did have me fooled, though.
I can't say that I was that bad. You know, I still know more than a vast majority of people here.
I used to think so.
What? Get out of here. I'm offended.
Okay, number 5, right? No, not number 5.
No, honorable mention.
Honorable mention. Okay. I have 2 of them because, again, I have no self-control. I did update the list a tad bit since you saw it. Nothing crazy, but
I kept mine as it is for length's sake.
Indeed. Honorable mention, John Carpenter's The Thing. You know, it's
great.
It's amazing.
A marvel of practical effects.
The practical
so well
effects
done.
Still hold up to this day.
Yes.
Nothing in that movie stands out as being cheesy or fake or weird or anything. Well, a lot of it's weird, but in a good way. It's so impressive. There's still things in that movie that just baffle me as to how they did it. Which can't be said for a lot of things from that time period. Nothing against that time period, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
And another movie that was really great in the practical effects area as well. Not quite as good, but very solid. And that's Alien. I had to put it in. It's just that good. I love it. It's scary. And it's got some really cool creature effects in it. I still can't wrap my mind around how the xenomorph is a suit. Like,
yeah,
what?
It's mind-blowing. It's absolutely mind-blowing. And the chest burst scene, unparalleled. It's so damn good. And
yeah, it's
Spaceballs did a great parody of that. Phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Like,
I have Spaceballs right here at an arm's length, guys, but do I really need to grab it? Fine. I don't have the 4K yet. It did release on 4K though, which is cool. Your helmet is so big edition. Oh my God, it's very funny. So as far as honorable mentions are concerned, mine, have you seen this movie? I would have to assume you've heard of it. It is called Dead Alive in the Americas. It is referred to as Brain Dead overseas. It is directed by Peter Jackson before Lord of the Rings. Brandon, do you know of this movie?
Only by name.
Only by name. It is one of the goriest movies ever made. It is so over the top. It is obviously all practical effects given the time period. It takes place in New Zealand, as it would with Peter Jackson, and it chronicles a man named Lionel who lives with his mother. He is a real shut-in mama's boy. He lives in a real big house, and she has this tight grip on him. And he goes on a date with this woman named Paquita that he meets. She's a foreign girl, and she likes him. He likes her. It's just some goofy romance thing. She reads his tarot cards, and there's so much in store for him in the future. So they go on a date to the zoo, and the mom has to chaperone them because she's just such a psychotic control freak.
Okay.
The mom gets bit by this like monkey rat thing, and it infects her with like this disease, turns into a zombie essentially. So they're sitting there eating dinner one day, and like the mom's face just falls apart into the pudding that they're eating. And it just gets weirder and grosser from there. Lionel, what?
I like what I'm hearing.
So you will love this movie. I wish I had a physical copy of it, but Lionel eventually, so this disease starts to spread because the mom starts biting everybody. The family starts to visit, and like the guy gets infected, and he eats the pus from her wound on accident. It looks like custard. It's so disgusting. There's a part where, so once all hell breaks loose and there's just zombies everywhere, my favorite scene in the movie, and I'll just have to give it a slight spoiler. It's probably not a big spoiler. If you look it up on YouTube, it's gonna be like the first thing. There's a part of the movie where Lionel's in like the main entrance hall of the house, and there's like a horde of zombies everywhere. He straps a lawnmower to his chest and then just goes through the house, mauling everybody toward him. They put like arms of zombies in a blender and just dial it down to nothing. They kill a weird demon baby. It's so gory that the movie was one of the only movies in history that was supplying barf bags with the movie, and it was disgusting. It's that fake kind of gore where it looks really pink and nasty. Oh, yeah. It's so entertaining though. It takes itself not one moment of seriousness, and it's just from beginning to end hilarious. So, and it's a hidden gem. Not too many people know about it. It's more of a cult movie. So, Dead Alive in America, Brain Dead overseas. Love it.
Awesome. All right. So, number 5. Right?
Yes, number 5.
I wanted to say number 1 at first, but that would have been wrong.
Yes, you're doing number 5 first on your end.
Indeed. Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one.
In particular.
We
talked about this extensively last evening, actually, after the ship. So
I kind of got it out of my system a little bit, but it's a great movie. It's scary. And it's exactly where it's the region where Freddy Krueger should always exist, in my opinion. Look at that sexy son of a bitch.
Johnny Depp's amazing debut.
Indeed.
So good.
As the late, great Glenn.
Yes, indeed.
But yeah, it's a great movie. I could watch it every week of my life.
What makes it so good is that it's genuinely terrifying in so many aspects. Yeah. And my favorite scene of the movie, and we talked about this yesterday, is the body bag scene of Tina in the school. Every part of that is creepy. The bloody hand going down the body bag, how quiet it is in the hallway when she just lifts up by the legs and is dragged in a pool of her own blood down the hall. Yeah. Oh, it's just like goosebumps thinking about it. And I've seen the movie dozens and dozens and dozens of times, and it never ceases to be creepy. It does have its great moments of comedy that are just disgustingly scary at the same time. Like the first time you see that, I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy. Like that is creepy, but also horrifying.
Yeah.
Horrifying.
There is definitely, they were leaning into the pedophilia undertones.
Oh, yes. Or like when she's sleeping and then, he just comes through the wall and then right back, but the crucifix is there. But the imagery is so well done. The Rod and Tina subplot is, oh God. That is so good. I didn't do it right. He's just running around. Oh my God. And then
he's running around in his
with
bare
no
feet
shoe
for days.
So good. Yes. Hiding in the bushes, perfectly curled hair.
Yeah.
Yes, but we'll talk about that forever. But yes, so well done.
Yeah. It's a great movie.
Oh God. So am I going on to my number 5 now? Even though I know the list,
Indeed.
I keep pulling up. So this one I added in a haste last night. It just came
Okay.
to me and I thought, you know what? I really love this movie. Now, God, I have it on DVD somewhere, but my DVDs are
I have some
stacked.
judgments about this one.
I genuinely enjoy this movie. It came out in 2006. It is a remake of
Indeed,
Wes
it did.
Craven's The Hills Have Eyes. Now, I don't hear too many people talk about this one. I don't think it's even revered in the horror community. When it came out, again, this whole list I just have to say is rooted in nostalgia. So, the period of 2005 to 2007, my middle school years, I was super introverted and didn't really have too many friends. I kept to myself. And one thing that I realized I absolutely loved was horror movies. I always did at a young age. But this is when the internet was coming into its own, when YouTube was coming into its own, and I followed Cinemassacre a lot at the time, which is the angry video game nerd. But he did his Monster Madness series, which highlighted a lot, and at that time it really stuck with me. So I became a huge horror fan at that time. I liked anyway. So my dad was living in a different state at the time. We were visiting him. We went to the video store, and it was one of the best used DVD stores I've ever seen. I got some UMD movies for my PSP. I remember getting my unrated copy of The Exorcism of Emily Rose, and I still like that movie too. It's a great movie. Maybe it's because I saw it at that time. What if I watch it now? It might suck. Who knows? But anyway, we went to go see The Hills Have Eyes. And at the time, I really liked the gory remakes of things. And that's exactly what The Hills Have Eyes remake is. It's the same story, the same characters, but much more gritty, much darker. It's almost like a Rob Zombie light remake in a way. It is very gory. And at the time, it was one of the goriest movies that I had seen. I hadn't really dived into the underground. It was more of a mainstream movie at the time. But just that setting of the gas station attendant in cahoots with these mutants, sending somebody off into the mountains knowingly to kill them, to take their valuable for the smallest cut of a valuable. It's so scumbag. It's so disgusting. I love Pluto and Lizard and Big Brain. I like how they all look in there. The scene when they break into the RV is absolutely terrifying. I just remember to this day, they RAP this woman. They shoot her in the face in front of her baby. They eat the head off a bird all in like 5 minutes. In 2006, that was disgusting. So it always stuck with me. My cousins really enjoyed the movie, and then afterwards we would make fun of it because that's what we did. We would be scared of a movie and then make fun of it after, to get over it. But then I saw the remake first. I saw the original afterwards, and I just didn't really care for the original. It didn't have that oomph and that punch. One of my absolute favorite scenes of that movie is when Big Brain. You've seen it then? I'm assuming.
I have not.
Really? So there's a part that's not in your realm of interest.
It's not my kind of movie.
Okay. Yeah, it's an unapologetic gore fest. It's not story based, really. It's a creepy idea to perpetuate the gore and kills that they wanted, because every kill is just over the top. Like when they kill Big Bob, he's like the dad, like the high dad. He is just tied up to a cross and just burning. And they just they empty the fire extinguisher so they can't use them to put him out. Like they think about how to scare the out of you with every kill.
Yeah.
They literally so the final part of the movie takes place in a nuclear testing ground for the atom bomb that went off in the 50s. So everyone has that radiation poisoning, and that's what made them mutants. There's mutant children living in the facility among the mannequins. You don't know what's real out of your peripheral. It's very scary. Maybe if I watch it like today, I would be like, oh, this is stupid. But
Yeah.
It definitely had that effect. And it was during that time of remakes were really, really perpetuated in Hollywood at the time. And it really started with, I would say, like that Texas Chainsaw remake with Jessica Biel.
Which is great.
Onward, which is a great one. Yeah. And it continued onward from there. Then you have like your Friday the 13th, the Nightmare on Elm Street ones toward the tail end of the Hollywood reboot
There was
era.
House of Wax. There
I
was.
really like that one too, and you'll probably
Oh,
hate me for that,
God.
but it's
Oh
just.
God, that one I did see. That one is a
You remember when
terrible
she
movie.
puts her finger up to like get the guy's attention, and then he just cuts it off with the bolt cutters? Disgusting. I like that one for its own campiness, but Hills Have Eyes, I really do enjoy. I have to say, it's the unapologetic, disgusting one. When he's singing the national anthem, big, and he stabs him with an American flag through his neck. It's disgusting. I love it.
A lot of subtlety there.
Yes, number 4. I will keep talking about it.
Number 4. All right, so it's the 2017 It. It is.
I'm glad you didn't put the year when you texted me the list, so that way I could speculate, because I really didn't want to know.
Yeah. I added the years to it after sending it to you for some of them, the ones that mattered. The original mini series. A lot of people are like, mini series, what are you talking about? I know about the original movie, and I'm like,
vast majority of people don't know that it was a miniseries.
Yeah, I'm like, no, it was a mini series, and yeah,
you say that with such a defeated tone, Brandon.
I've had the conversation so many times.
Yeah.
Tim Curry is iconic in it.
But
this was altogether different. It was the first movie in a long time that I went and saw it in theaters, and it freaked me out. I thought that I was going to go just watch it and it was going to be like, just a fun time. But there's some moments in that movie
that are genuinely
so
terrifying.
Disturbing. And I was not expecting it. And it quickly shot to my list of favorite movies of all time. So that's one that I would actually, I'd fight somebody on about it being a legitimately good movie. That changes with chapter 2, but we're not talking about chapter 2. That. But yes, it 2017. I love it. I watch it every year.
It's very good. Bill Skarsgård is phenomenal. That makeup job when he drools, when his eye just slowly lists over. It's
all the
so
stuff
scary
that he did right there on the spot. He has a lazy eye. He has control of his eye to move it. He drooled because of the prosthetics made him drool.
It's like the perfect storm of it. It's so creepy.
Yeah, he has an amazing physicality. Like he has
the way he could move,
roll himself up and stuff. Like obviously a little bit of that with CGI.
And are we thinking like of that one scene when he's in the house and he's cramped up in like the closet
fridge
and just folds folds out of it?
Yeah. And he's like turns his torso around and then like his head around. And so some of that was CGI. A lot of it was not, though. You'd be surprised how much of it was actually
really
just
cool.
Bill Skarsgård's physicality. He's a great actor. He was not the original choice for that role.
Who was the original choice?
Offered to somebody else. He was the kid from We're the Millers.
Really?
Yeah. I can't think of his name. British kid.
Well, that was not who I would have. I mean, not that I could even think of anybody to begin with, but wow.
He was offered the role. I think he accepted it, but then the project, Will Poulter.
Okay.
The project switched hands, different writers, different directors. So then it became Bill Skarsgård, and it was great because of it. That's Will Poulter.
You know what? With the makeup,
he has the eyebrows.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're doing it old school. We won't even insert a photo here, but anyway. So that is
great movie.
I'm glad that's on your list. And I'm glad that it was the newer one too, because I would peg you as like the Tim Curry type. Just because of you probably might have been rooted in nostalgia, as I am for this entire list. But yes, I really do like that movie as well. The second one sucks. We all know that. My number 4 is going to be another one rooted in nostalgia. Child's Play, the original movie from 19 '88. And why did I pick this franchise, this specific movie? I remember I was 6 years old. And I was walking around Target with my mom. This is before DVDs were a thing. I don't even think they were. They might have been even in its infancy, very infancy. We're walking around the VHS section, and I see Child's Play. I saw the very first one for the first time, unbeknownst to knowing what it is. I read the back of it, and it's a killer doll. And my mom watched it when she was younger, and she's like, "Oh, the movie was so scary. We're gonna buy it." I watched that as a 6-year-old who still loved his Woody doll. Okay, that movie terrified me. It was not. As a kid, you love toys. Seeing your favorite toy come to life, murder your pseudo aunt, and then put the blame on you, essentially, and then have everyone think you're crazy. There's a psychological aspect of it. There's a not too much of a comedy aspect in the movie. It takes itself much more seriously. Brad Dourif is fantastic. Chris Sarandon is so good in the movie. I absolutely love everything about it, and it made such an impression on me. And the one thing I specifically remember is I was getting toward the end of the movie, and I just wanted it to be over, but I still kept watching it. That's what you do. And then the part when they burn him alive, I'm like, finally it's over. But then when he goes, Andy. Hello, Andy, and then just starts to walk toward him and get the gun to shoot him, that was so scary. And I remember telling my brother, I'm like we used to smash things with bricks in the backyard, like Sid from Toy Story. I know. And then we would be like, we're gonna break that tape tomorrow. That movie was scary. We never broke it. We're like, we kind of want to watch it again. So we watched it again. And then we went to Blockbuster the following week, and then rented the second one. And then we eventually bought the whole franchise all on VHS, because it was before we had a DVD player. So we had the whole series, and then eventually we got the Chucky doll from Spencer's, and then me and my brother would legitimately carry it around to like the store, and like we took it to the hospital at one point when he had a surgery, and it, like, I remember it made a kid cry. So I just am very attached to Chucky for that reason. It hit me at a young age, and that's why I still like it as an adult. So absolutely love Child's Play original specifically.
Very good. Yeah, that was one of the later series that I got into, which is probably why I don't have as much nostalgia about it.
Really? Okay.
I had already seen, the others, not all of them, but a lot of the others, of like
Chucky
the
movies
big three,
or genre. Okay.
Slashers. And so that was one of the later ones that I checked out, and it was a DVD at the time, and I just bought it. It was like $4 or something, had MGM.
Yeah, the full screen MGM. Yeah, I know. I have the copy as well. It was only released in full screen, didn't release in widescreen until like an anniversary edition years later.
Okay.
Which sucks. So I've never even seen that movie in widescreen before, believe it or not. The original Child's Play. Yeah, so that's a nerd tangent for you guys. So we're gonna have to move on though.
Yep. It's we're now to number 3, right?
Yes.
Number three. It's I struggle with this one a little bit. It's Scream. It's 1996 Scream. I prefer Scream 2. Don't shoot me. I prefer Scream 2. So I did think about putting that one down because it is our Ghoulish
Go-Tos.
Right? But I was like, you know what? Scream is damn good as well. I just can't deny it. I love it. I love everything about it. And Scream 2 is a bit more action packed, as far as a horror movie can get action packed. So I sort of gravitate towards that. Plus nostalgia. I saw Scream 2 first in 1997. That was my first one on pay-per-view with my cousins.
Nice.
And I wasn't invited, and I told my mom, I can't speak apparently. I told on my cousins to my mom, and my mom was like, he's gonna come and watch that movie with you guys. And I don't think she knew what she was
getting herself into,
advocating for her 6-year-old, probably 5 at the time, 5-year-old son to watch this R-rated movie. But hey, thanks, Mom.
It's your Child's Play experience is very similar.
Sort of, except that was one of my first introductions into slashers.
Well, I was still 6 years old. I would say that I wasn't too much of a slasher guy. I mean, I remember watching Children of the Corn at that age, but I mean, that's not in lieu at all compared to that. It's different.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. But Scream 2 is what started me down my love of horror. And I saw Scream after that. And of course I fell in love. It's where it all began, right? So gotta love it.
You gotta give it props for that. So
exactly.
going into another franchise, this will be the first of it. You're actually staring at the man right there. No, Brandon's not the killer. His shirt. Halloween. I know, right? Shocker. Halloween 1978, the original. There's something about this movie that is very timeless. It holds up. It's very scary. It's subtly scary. It's not in your face because they didn't have the time or the budget or anything to be able to do that. This movie was made in a month on a shoestring budget with a wardrobe entirely from Sears. Okay. Sears.
AC Penny.
Oh, okay. So I was close.
Close enough. Yes.
Close enough. So
I don't even know why I know that.
It was made, of course. Well, I know why you do. You're a hugger. So it was made on the barest of essentials out of passion too. And it comes across when you watch this movie. It's creepy. It's minimalistic. It holds up so well. The subtlety of the shape of this movie is just not the same as it goes on in the series. He's much more brooding. Even though he walks, he's still that action star. He's not as subtle as the first movie. He doesn't appear out in the same way as in the 1978 one. And I'm thinking specifically before Laurie stabs him with the sewing needle in the eye. That shot in particular from behind the door is so goddamn scary. And when Loomis explains, I don't remember it verbatim, but X amount of years of looking after him, and X amount of years keeping him locked up or whatever, that'll give you goosebumps, man. Donald Pleasance brings a maturity to the role too. I love everything about that movie.
And a credibility.
Yes, too, because Jamie Lee Curtis just could go off her mother's name. Other than that, there was nothing else really there. So that movie was just like a perfect storm to set it up for the future. The second one I absolutely love as well. I even love Halloween 3 for its own reasons. But that one in particular is the quintessential horror movie that when I just think of the breathing that he does, because he doesn't breathe the same as he does in the other movies. There's that sound to it. And, he was played by so many different people. Once you know the trivia of the movie, there's just so much to appreciate about it. But I absolutely love the original for its charm and for what it did and how well it holds up today, I would say.
Yeah, I agree. He was played by like 6 different people in the first movie, but 95% of the time, Nick Castle was who was playing him. And trivia. He also provided the breathing sounds for Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, and soon Halloween Ends. So the exact breathing that he did for the original, Nick Castle did for those as well. So same breathing. But that was something they started to just take the breathing completely away as time went on, and it resurfaced in 2018. But for a long time it was missing after Halloween 2, 1981. But that was a scary part of the character, and they said bye,
idiots. And now for number two.
Don't know what that was, but I like it.
I don't either.
This is a movie I hold near and dear to my heart. It's just so good. It's you would never think that it came out in 1960, honestly, other than the fact it's black and white, but that was a choice.
A style, yes.
It didn't have to be black and white at the time. They just, Alfred Hitchcock thought that it added a certain I guess, noir feel to it, possibly made it a little bit scarier, but that is the
Adds to the
original
mystery.
Psycho.
Yeah.
And I
Oh, the
adore this
original, not the
movie.
Vince Vaughn version.
Yeah, I have to make that distinction.
Oh man, you
God.
said to bust your balls on that one.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, after, once again, I sort of said it earlier, but after sending it to you, I added the years to it. So, you
Yeah.
have 1960 that I put there. And I also showed my number one pick doing that, but whatever.
Oh well.
But it's just a great movie. Anthony Perkins is a master.
Yes.
And he died too soon, unfortunately. So yep.
Oh, I thought you had a whole other feel to it.
No, I would, but
I love that close-up ending on Norman Bates' face. So creepy.
I agree. Yeah.
The movie is so
he's
well
like
done.
his mother at that point. He's fully transformed.
Mm-hmm. Fully transformed.
Good times.
Are we switching to my number 2 now?
Yep.
All right. So my number 2 is another one. This one isn't a franchise movie, but it made a really, really good impression on me. At the time, I was a really big Kubrick fan. So I was going through a lot of his movies. I was getting them on DVD at the time. This is before Blu-ray was a thing. I absolutely adored Clockwork Orange and 2001: A Space Odyssey. And The Shining, we all know Red Rum, Jack.
Red Rum.
I don't want to hear that from you, Brandon. I live in the county.
So anyway, everybody knows, all those little tropes of the movie. The movie holds up so much that even on Blu-ray, I don't have it on 4K yet, but even on Blu-ray, it looks like it could have been made in the 90s.
You got to check it out on 4K.
I know I got to get it on 4K, but it's so well shot. It is well paced.
Yeah.
Part of the pacing has to do with you see that descent in the madness as it happens with Jack, but you can tell from the very beginning Jack is unhinged. You have that sit down with the doctor. Yeah. We talk about how he accidentally hurt Danny's arm. We know this. But
dealing with alcoholism.
Yes, cuts close to home. So when he's staring at the like director of the hotel, and then Jack is just sitting there like, yes, Mr. Ullman, my wife is a real confirmed horror story and ghost addict, and it's just like, okay, I don't know why you're here. And then Shelley Duvall just sits there. Oh yeah, there's the problem with Jack, but he's all fixed now. And then the cigarette is just very unnerving from the beginning, and then it just keeps going. When Jack just stares at the wall like this, and you can see the reflection in the mirror, and then he's just throwing the tennis ball at the wall, all play, and makes Jack a doll. It just continues. And then when it starts to culminate of whenever you hear me typing, I'm working.
Breaking my concentration.
Come in here.
Me, and it will then take
you time. A sandwich, Jack. Everything about it is so creepy when he cuts the power of the Hellcat, tries to lock him in get to the maze. I mean, everything about it is horrifying, and it holds up so well it seems modern. It seems very modern. And you know what? I love that Stephen King hates it, because guess what? His version must have been ass, because that was phenomenal. I've seen...
Well, you can see his version by just reading the book.
And then there's the miniseries that they made for The Shining, or that TV movie from the 90s that is so bad, where Tony is the Encyclopedia Dramatica guy floating around in the corner. What's up, Doc? And then there's like a hose that comes to life. And then there's like the hedges come to life. It is not scary. It's stupid. And Stephen King loves it. I have no respect for him. Sucks. The movie was great,
he loves that version anymore.
Okay, good. I guess the coke wore off because it sucked.
It's terrible, yeah. And he likes Kubrick Shining now as well.
Finally,
Yeah.
I mean, because if the book is better, then I don't want to read the book because the movie's flawless.
He has sort of eased up as time has gone on and accepted that it was different because there were some very specific changes. Actually, right off the beginning of the movie, they pass by. They're in a yellow Volkswagen, right?
Mhm.
And they pass by, I believe, a red one. I might have those colors mixed up.
I think
And
they're in a beige car actually at the very beginning of the movie. We're talking about the film, the Kubrick one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're in their car on the way up the mountain.
Yeah.
Which is a reminiscent shot to Funny Games. It also
Right, okay,
starts
so-
out the exact same way.
So it is indeed a yellow one they're in. Very, very yellow.
Yes, very yellow.
And I believe they passed by a red one that crashed at the side of the road or ran out of gas or something. And actually it's almost like they're passing by the literary version and becoming its own thing, because in the book it's a red Volkswagen, just like the one they saw at the side of the road broken down that they're driving. So it's almost like those are the Torrances from
Imagery.
the book, and these are
Yeah.
the new Torrances, almost like that sort of thing. And there's a lot of that kind of stuff in the movie. And Kubrick was somebody who loved to do like 75 takes of every scene. He
drove Shelley Duvall insane, and I feel so bad for her.
I feel very bad for her as well.
But this is also the time of studio films where the studio would kind of give the director permission to do what they wanted. Same with my number one pick, which makes it a much different era for filmmaking, which makes it for a very gritty and scary movie, but also a very unsafe and traumatizing work environment for the actors and actresses involved. So you do have a real double-edged sword there, but you're getting a real raw, scary performance that really isn't replicated today.
This was like the end of that studio
being able to do
era.
That. Yeah.
It was basically because
the studio era was like the
Kubrick
late
and
60s through most of the 70s.
Yeah, and this was 1980, so it was
right at the tail end of it.
The way that he treated all of his actors was appalling, but
yes,
he believed that you didn't get a natural performance from an actor until you exhausted them first.
Yeah.
So,
which I mean, even though there's validity to it, but
yeah,
makes it scary in and of its own right. But literally.
Sure. Especially having Jack Nicholson run up those stairs like 75 times.
Going down the stairs
and
going
down, up and down,
chasing you.
But it's a great movie. So let's see here. We are running out of time.
And that means we're right at number one. Perfect.
Indeed.
Let's go.
So number one.
Number
Uno.
one.
As an eau de trois, right? Oh, okay, whatever. Where did Marion come from? I heard
no.
her voice. Anyway, it's Halloween. It's gotta be, right? I'm the Halloween guy. I love Halloween, and there's not really much else to be said than was already said. It's a flawless movie. I contemplated doing the whole thing as well, hence why I had to do the H2O shirt, because in all honesty, if we're going to go with our go-tos, then H2O probably would be what I would go for first, because I love it that much. But then again, I have to give credit where credit is due to where H2O was birthed from, and that was the original, and I still really love the original as well. It has it's one of the only movies in the series that has that true autumn feel to it.
Yes,
which is ironic because it wasn't in California.
Yeah.
But it's a great movie. I adore it. I adore most of the series, even the ones that are crap. I still like them to some degree. There are exceptions. Halloween 5, Halloween
6.
Resurrection, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Those are the only three that I do not excuse. But
Yeah.
but all the others I can find something in them. So yeah. So number one.
So my number one pick, it has actually been my number one horror movie since I saw it at the young age of 10 years old. To preface it, at the time I was going to a Catholic school. I'm from a Italian Catholic family. Demonic possession is not something that is talked about, and if you do, they take it very seriously. I don't know why, because I don't really believe in it. But my favorite movie is the original Exorcist. And the reason behind that is there's no other movie, for as old as that movie is, almost 50 years old at this point. That movie is scarily modern. It has stuck with me in a lot of haunting ways. The imagery is way too iconic. Being that I was raised Catholic, I know what all that imagery is, and seeing it like perverted like that as a kid was absolutely terrifying. Hearing Reagan's voice change, seeing her eyes flip up into her head, seeing her body being contorted against her will was so scary. And even as an adult, the only movie that genuinely will terrify me to my core are movies about possession, because it takes away your free will for very, very disgusting purposes, nefarious reasons of demonic possession. That I can't think of anything scarier than walking into the room of your loved one where they have to be tethered to a bed as they're cut and scraped and fighting for any shred of humanity as a dark demon is trying to take over. That is, Brandon, could you imagine, like, I was out of work for a month because I'm getting possessed and there's an exorcism going on? That is scary as all holy mother of God.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
As a young age, it really stuck with me, and nothing has ever scared me as much since. As an adult, I had, my birthday was yesterday, almost 30 years old, guys. We're really kissing it. I will walk up the stairs and then see the demon flash in my eyes. You know, the one that only flashes
like the face
for
of the woman.
Yeah. The when Father Karras is like getting really messed over with by the demon, they're showing his mother and everything.
Yeah.
Or that scene when Reagan turns into the mom and she's just bolt upright, like looking at it, like, "Why you do this to me, honey?" Like, man. And then the voice changes, and
yeah.
Oh my God. He's like, "You're not my mother." And he's like just trying to mess with her. It just gets me to my core.
Your mother sucks cocks in hell, Karis.
Will you get out of there, please? Well, you're no fun. I'm working.
Andy Richter and James Woods.
So
like, Mom.
Yes. But even then, so watching Scary Movie 2 as a kid, I was genuinely terrified by the makeup. They used the original tongue from the movie.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they did. It's in the behind the scenes of the DVD, and the makeup is accurate to a very huge degree.
It's good. Yeah.
So even that terrifies me. That Emily Rose movie is still, that movie's even scary to me for a PG-13 horror movie, which I never really think are terrifying. But the original Exorcist, its pacing is phenomenal. The exorcism isn't until the last third of the movie, so the part that you want to see, you need to get to. You have to go through a much more subtle version of questioning sanity than Jack in The Shining. So it's similar, but it's a religious questioning, because Chris, the mom, doesn't believe in it until she gets the black eye, and then she goes to see Father Karras about it, and then it gets intertwined with his mom dying, and it's a very, very scary movie. From Captain Howdy being mentioned and onward, like, even that terrifies me, the name Captain Howdy, because of the demonic aspect. So I have to say, there's not another movie that has terrified me. Chucky scared me, Michael scared me, X, Y, and Z, The Hills Have Eyes was scary to walk to the car after. Yeah, but there's not a movie that flashes in my head of imagery of a split second that can still give me chills at being almost 30, knowing none of it's real. So I have to say that is why it's scary, because it can still genuinely terrify me after knowing that it is not real. So I didn't show my other movies as I do for everything else, but here are the top ones, and then also the extended director's cut with the walk down the stairs backwards, and she just her mouth opens in blood. Terrifying. I couldn't imagine seeing this movie when it released. both of them, but this one specifically.
I would have been
Even-
one of those people vomiting out in the hallway.
Even this terrifies me because I know
Yeah.
what Pazuzu is. This terrifies me because I know what scene it's from. Like even
Mhm.
this, and it's nothing. Just the association. So well made. I don't think I'll ever be scared of a movie the way this movie is terrified.
And I have to say as well, in closing, that we didn't mention this, but it has an iconic score, and a lot of the movies we talked about are so good because of their music as well.
Yes.
So, a huge,
To all our
hand
favorite composers.
needs to go towards the composers. Exactly. So, that being said,
What an excellent day for an exorcism.
I don't know. I can't do it.
What an excellent day for an exorcism.
I love it. I love that old smoker lady that provides the voice.
I know.
She
Oh,
certainly died of lung cancer.
Oh, but it's so scary, dude. When they play back,
I
the
thought it was a
recordings.
guy. For years, I thought that was a guy.
And then Reagan, like Linda Blair had to word it all. Like, I mean, you could tell where it's lip sync, but it's terrifying.
Oh, it's perfect.
disgusting.
It's perfect. All right.
All
Well,
right.
That brings us to the end,
To the-
everybody.
Why are you still here? Because Brandon.
Why
has
are
to
you
go
still
get a haircut.
here? I need to get a haircut. Next time you see me, I'm gonna have shorter hair. Probably not much though. This is still gonna be
Yeah.
probably the same.